What's up, everybody? It's Quadruple G. Here in the garage today. It's a good day. Hanging out, relaxing, and just taking a little breather after everything that happened today. Now, today is a special day for multiple reasons. One important reason is it's my dog's birthday today. So, say happy birthday to Shiloh. Maybe I'll show a picture for you of Shiloh. Maybe I won't. She's a Choco Lab. That's all you need to know. And she's a very good dog. Now, she's 4, by the way. She's a great dog. I wanted to come, second thing that happened today, and I wanted to come to you guys and talk about Nintendo's new pricing scheme that they released. Part of their variable pricing mask? Would you call it a mask? Variable pricing charade? Variable pricing lie, to put it bluntly. Talking to you, Dark Bowser. Well, you're not around anymore. Now you got someone inferior coming in, taking over your spot. I'm just kidding. Kind of a little bit. Devin Pritchard. I got a video coming on Devin Pritchard, and I've been doing some research on her. So, there's some interesting stuff about it I don't think anyone's really talking about. But I have come to talk to you today about this new pricing strategy. Now, there's a couple things that I've seen, a couple videos that I've watched that people aren't really talking about. So if you want to hear what people haven't been saying, you're going to want to hear what I have to say. Now, Nintendo came out with a statement from IGN today, which I think they were the first ones to release it, which is very telling, honestly. Just that on its face alone, you coming and having to release it to the mainstream news media is pretty telling on itself already. And it's just something that I already don't like. They already don't have the courage to go out and say it themselves. And I think Japanese people, you guys are very smart. Nintendo, you're very smart. This was not very smart whatsoever, this whole move. So let me just tell you the statement. They basically, starting in May with Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, it's their first title they're going to do it with, they're going to split their physical and digital prices. So physical prices will be $10 more, so they'll be $70, which is the new standard. Like, I put that in quote standard, which is a part of why I say it's a charade, because this new standard was just implemented. I mean, the PlayStation 5 implemented it, and then Nintendo implemented it again with going from the 70 to 80 with Mario Kart World. Now, we'll see what they're gonna do in the future. I don't know if the Monolith soft game is going to be on Game Keycard or an $80 game. We'll have to see. They kind of did it with Xenoblade Chronicles 3 with the DLC. However, I guess Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the DLC was also kind of expensive, but they actually had a physical cart for that. So there you go. But anyways, let's just talk about the statement, because I could go on tangents forever. Let's see here. It says they will change the versions. They will change the formats, whether it's packaged or digital. But what they say here, they say it's Nintendo games offer the same experiences, whether in packaged or digital formats. And this change simply reflects the different costs associated with producing and distributing each format, and offers players more choice in how they can buy and play Nintendo games. First off, that last part makes no sense, because we have already had the choice. It's like what are you talking about? Like, physical games haven't really been a luxury. Like, gaming itself is a luxury, but as far as selling of physical games, it's never really been looked at as like, oh, you're lucky you're getting a physical copy. It's always been the standard. So digital has been a recent standard, you know, ever since Redbox came out with it, which was quite a while ago. But it's an Xbox 360 era, I guess. So maybe 2007-ish, which is almost 20 years ago. But we'll talk about the numbers, Nintendo's numbers, which also why it doesn't make sense. Like, this is just fluff, you know, it's just fluff from Nintendo. To even say something like this is just kind of silly, because it's like, you guys have to do this. Like, there's no way around it. You guys have to provide the services that you provide in order to keep moving forward, because if they took everything off the shelf, it wouldn't work out. It's roughly a 50-50 split. We'll talk about it. So it says, let me see. So they just talk about retail partners can set the prices. Let me see. There was one statement that I wanted to hone in on. Yeah, well, the cost associated with everything and everything like that, but let me see. I thought I had the whole statement here. Maybe I don't. Let's see here. Maybe it was, I'm sorry, guys. Maybe it was the part about, maybe it was the part about the same experience. Oh yes, that's what I want to hone in on. Nintendo games offer the same experiences, whether packaged or digital. So that is not true. That's just simply not true. Like, if I downloaded a game rather than receiving it, you know, in my hand, like, would that be the same experience? I don't think so. Like, I think me going out to the store and actually walking in and buying it from the shop, that's like an experience that you won't get when you buy it digitally. Now, the midnight launches, for instance, like, they did that with Mario Wonder, they did that with Spider-Man 2. I was there for that, so it was on the same night. I think that was in 2023. And then Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, they had a midnight launch for that. And I think, you know, there's not many of those going on. So I was there for a lot of them. Like Gears of War 2, they had midnight launch. Halo, Mario Odyssey, they had a good one. I wasn't there for that one, but I watched plenty of videos about it. Obviously for the consoles, they had them as well. But yeah, I think that's it. It's just a flat out lie, you know, to say that a digital experience is the same as a physical experience. Like how are you gonna tell me what kind of experience that I'm having? Like, how does that even make any sense? That's like, I mean, everybody's experience is gonna be different. So even measuring that up is just weird. You know, like, it's just very strange, and I think it's kind of like telling you how cold your drink is, because it's like, that's kind of up to me. Like, that's not really up to you, you know? Like, if I put more ice in it than you, my drink's gonna be colder. If I'm drinking it in Russia during wintertime or whatever, like, it's gonna be way colder than someone on the equator. So I think that's very relative. Like, to where you're at, to what you're doing, which is why it relates so well, to your experience, to the way your brain works, you know, everything like that, how old you are, all that stuff is very relative. So for me, as a physical collector, you can't tell me how my experience is gonna be. Like, you know, like, how are you gonna do that? That was one thing that I wanted to hone in on. Just talking with you guys, that was just ridiculous when I read that today. It was just like, you know, what? And I don't see anybody talking about that. You know, like, it's just like very weird. Like you're trying to put something in your food that here you'll never notice there's like a big cockroach in there. It's like that's just a disgusting thing that I have to look at. And I'm not eating that. I'm not taking that in. Now, what else did they say? It's just weird. It's just weird to say that retail partners are gonna set the prices and stuff like that. It's just weird. And you guys have been raising prices for all of this stuff for Nintendo Switch 2, and I think that has been. And I did get a Switch 2, by the way. I have it right here in this case, and I've been playing some games on it, and I have my thoughts about it. Quick summary is, if you have a Switch 1, you're fine. You're totally fine. You don't need a Switch 2. And Nintendo's probably gonna not like me for saying it, but I don't care. They're not listening to me, but if they were, I would be great. I know the Nintendo ninjas are out there probably hearing like everything under the earth and in space and in the universe, but yeah, Nintendo ninjas are out there. But hear me on this. I think you guys are very smart. Nintendo, Japanese people. Why are you guys doing something like this? This is not smart. The whole Nintendo Switch 2 launch has been a mess. Like, it has not been a clean launch by any stretch of the imagination. And maybe in a future video I'll talk about that when I talk about the Switch 2. But it's been kind of a mess. And I think, if you got your Switch 1, you're alright. Just stay right there. You're good. But I think it's just very confusing. The whole launch has been very confusing. The pricing with everything, they increased the prices right away. When tariffs happen, I think it's all a charade. It's all a mask. I think they're just doing it because they can, I think Nintendo netted a ton of money in the last couple years. The Switch has been extremely successful for them. They're not hurting for money. The Mario movie was an extreme success. I think it was was it number 1 or number 2 top animated film grossing of all time or something like that, in theaters. I'm pretty sure it sold well online, all streaming platforms. I bought a copy of that movie physically, so I do have a DVD and a Blu-ray in one pack of that. But I'm sure, they're doing just fine. I think them doing this is kind of maybe a slight incentive, which I think digital buyers, because they've already kind of conditioned you that everything is going to be $70, and then now it's it's going to be $60. It's like they're giving you some sort of break. And this is why I say, Japanese people, you guys are smart, right? What happened? What happened with this? What was the reasoning? $60 games was the standard for the Switch and every other console. And, $70, it wasn't your thing until the Switch 2. It hasn't even been a year that you guys have had this standard. And you guys have introduced $80 games with no DLC. And of course everything ships weirdly, and it's not perfect, and it's broken on launch, and all the first day adopters get hit the hardest. You're the first one to invest in their product, and you just get smashed. And I have my critiques about the Switch 2. I mean, the Switch 2 is it's not a perfect console, by no stretch of the imagination. It's a good console, but honestly, I think you're okay if you have the Switch 1. You're not really upgrading that much. There's tons of issues with the Switch 2. The screen, the Joy-Cons are the same. For me, the screen is just, it's not as sharp as the OLED, and it's more laggy. You can feel the lag on it. for me personally, I can feel the lag. I can feel the lag on the screen. The battery life is terrible. I can go down all the reasons why I think Switch 2 is not as good as a console as the Switch 1. I think with power it's good, but if that's all you care about, Switch 2 is good. Leave it plugged in. But portable is why I bought the thing in the first place. It's why I picked it up, because of the portable aspect of it. But anyways, I'm gonna get back on to why I think this is just a complete net negative for Nintendo in general. I think releasing everything that they've been doing, having it be as confusing as it is, and then increasing the prices and then reducing the prices again, everything's just been a really big mess. The sales have been down, the stocks have been down. People argue that everything's down right now, but that is within reason, right? Obviously, everything that's happening. But it's just like this weird mind trick that they're playing. It's like, oh, here's $60 games for almost 8 years, right? And they never reduce their prices whatsoever for the Switch 1 stuff. And then here comes the Switch 2, and then games are $70, $80 now. And then, we're going to give you a digital one for $10 less. We're just going back to what they were at before. They were already doing $60 games, and the Switch 1 games are still $60. Sorry, let me turn this back on here. That's how you know this is legit quadruple G status quality right here. Got my legit PS3 going on right now. It's legit. But yeah, guys. I think overall, it's not really a positive for Nintendo. I think they're looking pretty not great right now. So let's talk about the numbers, by the way, because I heard this today and I looked it up a little bit, and there is pretty much like a 50-50 split between physical and digital buyers for the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo in general. Their platform is Switch and Switch 2. Now, digital includes NSO, DLC, add-on content, like additional content you want to buy. So like the $5 Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition update, probably pick that one up, and that would be included in that list. I don't know if I said Nintendo Switch Online already, but and I think game key cards would probably fit in that category as well, which is another huge negative about how the Switch 2 has been going with the game key cards situation. But yeah, it's the physical, actually, from what I've seen, if you kind of splice all those things apart, the digital and the physical aspects, because some things aren't even games within themselves, I think you would actually see higher adopters of physical products. Now, there is a website, I think it's called Does It Play, where you can go on there and you can see like PS5 if games play or not, fully on disc, right? And I think Switch games as well. Which Switch games are because Switch 1 didn't have many. There was a few titles that were like just a box, but you can buy like the Switch 1 was it wasn't region locked, so you can you can play any game from any region on it, which was great. I have some Japanese titles, like the Mario 3D All-Stars collection. I have that, I think like a Japanese copy. But it's great, plays fine, and I love it. And but yeah, so anyways, let's go back to the numbers. 50-50 split. If you split all those things, you categorize them, it's pretty much more people buying physical than digital. And it's very telling, and Nintendo's trying to push the digital, obviously for control. They want to push it for and then people like it for convenience, right? Like, obviously digital is more convenient, but you know what, like physical games, they're fine too, you know. Like people say, oh, digital, I have all my games in one spot. Well, dude, like if you get a case like this, you can put a lot of games in here, especially Switch games, because they're just little cartridges. I've heard some people say cartridges. I don't think you say cartridges. I think you say cartridges, homie. You gotta get it right, man. I'm gonna correct you. Come to your house and correct you. You don't say cartridges right. If you say cartridges, just get out. Just leave, bro. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so, anyways, what else can I say about this? I think Nintendo's greed is showing with the Nintendo Switch 2 endeavor. I think Furukawa has not been doing a great job. Not at all. Not whatsoever. I think you can argue that any way you want. It's just he hasn't been doing a great job, and I think they don't care necessarily because they're okay. But if you look at the sales right now and the decreased performance over the holiday, the decreased performance as of late, where they decreased by 2 million supposedly, because some people are saying that it's not true, the Bloomberg or whatever article it was, but time will tell. You know, haven't seen Nintendo refute it yet, so that's a pretty big thing to not refute, right? Because they can't lie to the stockholders, they can't lie to because they're a publicly traded company, right? They can't lie against the law. So I think Nintendo's in a bit of a weird spot, and I think that for me personally, just the way everything's looking, I haven't really seen the need to get any Switch 2 games. You know, I've gotten the Switch 2 console for the sake of playing Switch 1 games on it, which I also partially hate because there's some caveats with that too. It's not all sunshine and roses and dandelions. You know what I'm saying? No, I hate dandelions. No, I'm just kidding. Dandelions are fine. But yeah. So, anyways, I want you guys to tell me what you think about this whole thing. I think hasn't really been a great last few months as a Nintendo fan, to be honest. I think it's been a little bit lackluster, and I think that's just my opinion. You know, that's my opinion. Nothing has really called to me with what they've been releasing. You know, charging what was it, $10 for Welcome Tour, where Astro Bot is like so much better of a game. Is just one example. Or everyone uses the Wii Sports argument, but I still play Wii Sports to this day. I still play that game to this day, and I love it. And yeah, I mean, you know, they really could have done a much better job. They really could have done a much better job. And I think this PR statement was terrible. I don't know if Devin Pritchard was involved in that for, you know, in a way, like releasing this to IGN and stuff like that, which is cowardly. And yeah, I think if you look at physical versus digital and everything that Nintendo's been doing lately, I think they've been kind of messing up. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say was that the cover art for the Switch 2, like, they've ruined the cover art for Switch 2, and Happy Console Gamer said this, so I want to give him credit for bringing it to my attention. Him being an artist, I'm sure that really bugs him, you know. I'm an artist as well, but in a musical way, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, for me, like, album covers are pretty important, or back then they were. I don't know about now, maybe just your artwork that you have on your Spotify or something, but yeah, I think it means a lot, that cover art. And I think the Switch 2 cover art with all the letters and just all of the text, you know, saying like, this game is trademarked for Nintendo 2026, you know, game can be this and game can be downloaded here and blah 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 blah. Like, honestly, it's ruined the cover art. I think the red cases are cool, like the red cases and the red games. you know, but I don't know, like I think some people have complained about even the Switch covers, like the wall of red. Some people were tired of the wall of red, and you know, I don't really have a problem with it personally, but the cover art for like the Xbox, like the original Xbox, like the spines, you know, they were just so cool. You know, they were just fully printed on, and some were just fully colored. And you know, there's some games that have reversible cover art, but it's not a whole lot to where it's something to really write home about or rely on. Like if I was a consumer waiting for a game to come out, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, they're gonna have reversible cover art. We have no idea if they're gonna have reversible cover art or not. Now, if Nintendo, with their new physical editions, did like a reverse cover art for everything, I think then it'd be like, okay, like now we're talking. You know, now we can get at least a little bit of a benefit. But I think some people will probably still be mad about that because maybe they like one side of the cover better than the other side. You know, like Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii. You know, like the cover art on the inside, the reverse cover art is so awesome. I mean, and then, you know, if you have 3D, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, like you have the same cover art as the original game pretty much. So you can have one and the other kind of split apart. But anyways, that's just one thing that I wanted to talk about as well, is that the cover art. So if you're coming out with a physical edition, you know, make the cover art good. You know, make it well, and put a little booklet in there. You know, if you're gonna charge $10 more for plastic, you know, I know that the card reading speeds are supposedly faster, or they are faster, like the micro SD Express. But I think that's where digital will win out too. They'll get like slightly faster load times, which I don't care all about. Like, not even close. I played what was the game? Oh, I had really bad load times. I don't know, Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch was pretty bad. And I think Christ Tales or Crystalis, I don't know how you say that, but it's that RPG on the Switch that was very highly rated. It was like a turn-based RPG. Very, very cartoon look, very animated. It kind of has that Vanillaware look a little bit, but I beat that game. It was decent, but the load times in that were pretty bad. Like you were waiting a long time. But I don't care, you know. I don't care about that. I'll play PS1 RPG still. I don't care. Final Fantasy 9 to get into a battle is like takes so long, but it's awesome. I don't care. But yeah. So like Moore's Law is dying, and to try to like make a big thing out of load times and all that stuff, it's just like y'all can have that, man. Y'all can have that. I don't really care about that. But anyways, this has been a long video, but I just wanted to kind of talk about everything and share my thoughts. I think that was all that I wanted to say. But yeah, I think Nintendo, y'all making things really confusing. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I don't know if I'm going to buy Yoshi in the Mysterious Book. I'm not too sure because my family's been really cool with cameras and Fujifilm and stuff like that, getting those quick instant pictures. So that's been more of like a thing that my family's been into. So my daughter loves video games, but I can't buy her everything, guys. You know, can't buy her everything. I want to though. We'll see. We'll see. But I want you guys to tell me what you think about everything. I know that a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on this, a lot deeper, or just things that I didn't think about. But yeah, man, I don't trust Nintendo. I don't trust them with digital anything. With what they can do with Virtual Console and everything, and the Wii crash about 2 years ago. I think it was in 2023, but the Virtual Shop just shut down. You couldn't download the game anymore. It's it's been kind of a mess. So yeah, I don't have NSO. I don't think it's worth it for me personally, but tell me what you guys think. I don't really have a verse for today for all you Bible thumpers out there, you know what I'm saying? But I love all you guys, no matter what. Jesus loves you too, and God bless.